Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we are going to talk about how successful entrepreneurs think. So maybe, Neil, we can share a couple stories about how we think certain entrepreneurs think, and then maybe we'll come to a key takeaway. Maybe we'll see if we're on the same page. That'll be a fun experiment.
Go for it. You start off.
So I'll start off with Jeff Bezos, right? So Jeff Bezos, when he started Amazon, he was 30 years old or 31 or so, and he had a really good job. I believe he was working for either Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, he was a stock trader, and then the Hanauer brothers brought him over to Seattle, and that's when he started Amazon.
Great. So this is when the internet first started, and he saw something, right? Like this is the big opportunity. But his thinking was, how do I get into this internet game, right? So his conclusion was maybe it might make sense to sell books first, right? And so from books, eventually he started to sell more things, right? And then eventually from that, he started to add on, AWS, which is, Amazon Web Services. They got physical products like, the Kindle. They got, Alexa as well. Now they have Whole Foods, and then Jeff Bezos even, took some of his, took some of the money and started Blue Origin, which is a rocket company, right? And then he even said in his, I believe his college or his high school senior year, he was the valedictorian, right? And what he said was, he said, space, the final frontier, I'll see you all there, right? He said something around that. I'm paraphrasing right now. But you can see he's realizing his vision now. And the thing is this, right? Throughout the years of Amazon, for a lot of people, especially, when it went public, he has to report to shareholders, right? He has to report, people are looking for profits all the time. Profits, right? When you're a publicly traded company, you have to report every single quarter. People are looking at the numbers. They're scrutinizing you, right? But he was not concerned about that. Over time, he's kept the profit margins low, and he was just reinvesting, just building infrastructure, to build the Amazon kind of, 2-day shipping or Amazon Prime. That's not easy to do, right? You got to have crazy infrastructure for that. So he thought long term, and he was able to build all these things over time and telling people to be patient, and people bought into that. And look at what Amazon is today. Look at the monster that it's become. That's the very first lesson. I'm sure, Neil's got some interesting stories too.
Yeah, when most people think about successful entrepreneurs, they think about billionaires, all right? So it was either on Quora or there was an article around the web, and they were asking, how billionaires are and how they think. And I believe it was Elon Musk's ex-wife or, girlfriend or whatever it may be that ended up responding, because she didn't just get to hang out with Elon all the time. She also got to hang out with like the Google founders and other billionaires as well. And she was like, they all have something in common, right? One is they believe they can do anything, and they don't understand that certain things aren't possible, because to them, everything is possible. And two, she's just like, they're awkward, in which it's like fitting a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't fit, but they just cram it in, and they just try to make everything end up working. And I'm paraphrasing, and I could have got some of the little things off, but the point is they're unique. They believe they can do whatever they want. They believe that everything is solvable, and there's an answer. You just got to end up keeping working at it.
Yeah, and so the next thing I'll say is let's go back to Elon Musk, which is an example we used in, a couple episodes ago. But when you look at Elon Musk, right, when, he exited PayPal, right, maybe a little over 100 million, maybe I think it was 170 or so. So $170 million exit. And then guess what happened? And I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have the exact numbers, but, such and such, a good portion of that went towards Tesla, right? Another portion went towards SpaceX, right? It got to such a point where he had to sit and live in a friend's apartment because, he basically bet the entire farm on his new ventures. He could have said this. He could have said, I'm done, man. Like, I have PayPal. Like, I got this 170 million. But guess what? He's going to take all that money, push all the chips in, and say, hey, I'm all in. Let's go again. And here's the thing. I've talked to other entrepreneurs. I think we were sitting at a dinner once. And then, we're talking about, hey, like, if we were to lose everything, like, what would happen the next day? Great. You just get back up the next day, pick it back up, and you feel like you can do everything. You're going to bet the farm. You're going to continue to just keep reinvesting, betting it. And that's how they become, really, really, really successful billionaires.
Yeah, and going into the mindset of successful entrepreneurs, it's hard to replicate, the exact mindset of Elon or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or any of those guys. But I've learned one simple thing for interacting with tons of people who've made hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions is hey, the most common principle that you're going to need to learn is you're going to fail and make mistakes. That's okay. But what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the mediocre ones or the ones that fail is the successful entrepreneurs learn from their mistakes and they avoid making the same ones over and over again. In addition to that, they don't just learn from their mistakes, they also learn from other people's mistakes. So they'll constantly read books of, let's say, the CEO of IBM or Amazon or the CEO of General Electric, breaking down their experiences, what they've learned, the mistakes they made, and how they would have done things over again. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. You're going to make mistakes, learn from them. Other people are going to make mistakes in your space, learn from them. And if you can avoid making the mistakes over and over again, or what the mistakes other people made, you're going to be successful. The question is just when.
Yeah. And so, Neil just hit the nail on the head. I mean, these successful entrepreneurs, right? They are voracious readers or even learners, right? So, now you have Audible, so you can get audiobooks. You have podcasts. You're listening to this freaking podcast right here. And a lot of this good information from other people too is free, right? And here's the thing, here's the reason why when I listen to podcasts, I order every single book on one-click Amazon, because I'll pay, $15 to $30 or whatever. But even if one of those makes a big difference or gives me that one big idea, the books have all paid for each other, right? So I think books are such a steal because you get all these ideas. To Neil's point, you talk about learning from other people. I mean, I've certainly learned from kind of studying other entrepreneurs. I've learned from kind of, talking with other entrepreneurs in real life, like Neil or other people, like, hosting dinners, things like that. And so, part of you is probably thinking like, I'm listening to this podcast called Marketing School right now. What does this have to do with entrepreneurship? So even if you're a marketer, you're let's say you're a manager, an individual contributor, if you can think like an entrepreneur, you're going to have a leg up on everyone else, because other people, maybe they're just thinking about, clocking in, clocking out, working a 9 to 5, living that kind of lifestyle, which I think is fine, right? But, if you really want to get to the next level, the reason you're listening to this podcast is you want to get to that level about how these people are achieving their success. And, how you're going to do it is by thinking entrepreneurially.
Best of luck. Hopefully you can learn from your mistakes. You can think the way that some of these guys are thinking, and you'll do well. So final words, we have a giveaway. Go to singlegrain.com/giveaway to learn more about what it is and take part in it. It's free and it's for your benefit.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.